The Game.
Oh, baby, what a fun show today. Been a little uncomfortable at times. But,
I'll take the microphone. It's your birthday.
It's baby.
It's your birthday.
We don't need to start it. It's Niners
Happy
and Seahawks
birthday,
week.
Bonte.
It's Seahawks week. Thank you, but it's Seahawks week.
But it's the big 4-0. It's the big 4-0.
B40 and E40, that was a good line
You
there.
like that?
Even Fody chuckled at that
I
one.
know, that was
he chuckled
good.
at it. Whenever you can get him chuckle at a game, like he probably is going to steal that soon. But good morning to everybody getting off their graveyard shifts. If you're at work, what is happening? If you're getting ready for work, good morning to you. Our YouTube chat, as always, Twitch.
They're screaming and yelling about Trey Lance and Dan Marino,
everything.
and Justin Herbert and Josh Allen.
Right.
You want to argue with people? Forget Twitter. Go into the 95.7 Game YouTube chat.
It's a war in there. Comcast Business Sex Line, thanks for all the funny comments. But it's been a lot of nastiness when it comes to Trey Lance. And a lot of Eric Branch really tipped it off yesterday with his tweet about, hey, man, in the last 44 games, the Niners have scored 10 points or fewer in 2 of those games. Both starts by Trey Lance. Well, let's go a game further to game number 45, where the Niners won 9-0 with Jimmy Garoppolo playing quarterback. And there's this protection of Jimmy Garoppolo where it started when Michael Silver wrote the column about him ghosting his teammates for a lot of years. I don't know if it's true or not. But how is that not a big-time story? An NFL quarterback possibly ghosting a team.
I don't know.
And the beat writer just kind of laughed it off. Yeah, that's just Jimmy. That's just Jimmy.
The highest paid 49er ever. I mean, that's
highest paid, yeah.
I mean, I let it sit there because there's a reason like that. This is a big deal. It was a big deal. Yeah. I thought it was a big deal. But yeah,
it's really strange. And we're acting like the playoff game where people say, well, Jimmy Garoppolo led the Niners to the NFC. No, we didn't. That was a team. That was a team that advanced to the NFC Championship game. Jimmy had his moments, but we saw the second half of the Cowboys game. We saw the Green Bay game where they needed a pump block by the special teams unit to win that football game. So it's a little strange, and I was texting with Kitty Caraway last night for a little bit about the situation. He's going to talk about it on his show today from 12 to 4, ESPN 1320 with Damian Barling. Kitty Caraway doing his thing. I call him Sacramento KC because he holds it down for the Kings. He joins us on the roast. KC, what's happening, my man?
Yo, Bonte, Butcher, what's good, man? But before we start any of this Trey Lance, 49er, Michael Silver, all this stuff, come on, man, I got to pay respect, man, to my main man, Bonte. Happy birthday, big dog. If I had the air horns drop, I'd definitely be using the air horns right now, man. Happy birthday. And, y'all got me feeling like Jerry Stackhouse right now. You know, there we go. That's what I'm talking about, man. But, yeah, I'm feeling like Jerry Stackhouse right now. You know, I'm dunking right after Vince Carter. You know, you guys had E40 on. Stackhouse right now. It's all good, though.
That's such a good line. I forgot all about Jerry Stackhouse.
I know.
Well, you remember Steve Francis in that dunk contest because he was really good. I forgot Stackhouse was in there.
I wanted Rasheed Wallace or Stackhouse instead of getting Jameson.
Yeah, well, that's
man. Stackhouse, Vince Carter would do a windmill 360 dunking, and Jerry Stackhouse will come with like a double pump two-hand, and you can hear a pin drop.
It's like Harrison Barnes hitting the layup in the dunk contest, right? It's like, what are you doing?
That's
man.
great.
So, Happy birthday, though, big.
I appreciate that, Casey.
KC, it's very interesting to me. You know, you're a black guy. Bonte's a black guy. I'm just a white dude sitting here, and I think that to not think that race doesn't play a part in how we're talking about some of these quarterbacks is, to me, very naive because I'm a huge Josh Allen fan. I like guys who can run around and throw. Why? Because my 2 favorite players, Montana and Young, ran around and threw. Right. And I think when you watch the Peacock doc of Joe Montana, you say, man, he made a lot of throws on the run. Like, look at how he's moving around. Those are my favorite players. And, you know, that's what I like. And so I see Josh Allen running around, and I was a big fan of him coming out of Wyoming. And I never hear people bring up, like, you know, it's not really sustainable for him to be running this much. I know he's a big body, but, man, he could get hurt. But yet when you get someone like Trey Lance running around in his first game as the starter, it's like instantly, you're not going to be able to sustain and keep up that way. My mind goes to, boy, there feels like a lot of racial undertones to all of this, and everybody's afraid to acknowledge it. And it kind of drives me completely nuts. When I say all of that, what do you think?
Man, you're getting right into my thoughts right now because, to be honest with you, Butch, like I'm starting to get those vibes, and I'm not the type to just kind of throw that out there. But we also have to acknowledge the world we live in. It is what it is. Like we can't avoid it. But I try to be like, nah, let me chill. Let me not just go there or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But with Trey Lance, and the thing that really set off my attendance was Mike Martz. And I don't know Mike Martz. I'm not accusing him of anything nefarious or anything like that. But his assessment of both Trey Lance and Justin Fields after this game, I was like, bro, wait a minute. What are you watching? What are you trying to say? What's really going on? Because when you talk about, I've never seen worst quarterback play in my life. First of all, they were playing in a monsoon. They were playing in the same thing that Noah built the ark for, and you want to judge them off of that game right there after just saying you think the man is ready to play.
Right.
So I'm not sure what's going on with the Trey Lance thing, but like I tweeted to you last night, Bonte, it's getting a little nasty. It's getting a little nasty, and I don't know what ulterior motives a lot of these people seem to have, because it's smelling funny right now, man.
It does smell funny.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, no, it is getting a little nasty, and it does smell funny because, and I told you last night, Casey, I'm not trying to go there with the race card yet. A lot of people are. And I understand, because we see the way Lamar Jackson is covered. We see the Patrick Mahomes touch on that in training camp. I'm not trying to go there yet, but I do remember the way Kaepernick was basically jettisoned out of San Francisco, and the way the media kind of turned on him and the fan base turned on him because he said little. And Alex Smith was elevated. All of a sudden, Alex Smith became this winner to everybody. Like, oh, man, he's such a nice guy. 7 coordinators in 7 years, he couldn't thrive. We never make that excuse for any other quarterback. For some reason, Alex Smith got a pass. And then when Blaine Gabbert started playing, I remember in this market, Blaine Gabbert has a chance to be the franchise quarterback of the 49ers. It's like, come on, man. What are we doing here? So I don't want to go there yet either. But I do want the young man to thrive, because I think that's where we're headed with this situation. And it's been the intensity of this quarterback battle.
It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
I didn't think it would happen this fast, Kenny. I didn't think it would be ratcheted up this high so quickly.
I didn't think so either. And one of the things that we talked about, because I was listening to different people talking about when Jimmy was signed, and they were talking about, oh, he's creating this battle. Like, are we going to start having these starts week 1 after the first half, whatever? And the thing that came to me was, so you're telling me, radio host, Sports Center anchor or whatever, you're telling me that you have no self-control. Because who controls the narrative? Who controls the things that we talk about on the air and the things that we see? It's you. So you're telling me I have no self-control, that if it doesn't look perfect after the first quarter, that I'm going to start tweeting out, or I'm going to go on my show and talk about how they may need to go to Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, it was preposterous. And here's the other thing that really gets me, okay? Because somebody like myself who likes Jimmy Garoppolo, who thinks
you've been a big Jimmy fan.
I have. So you know what I'm about to say is 100% true. I like Jimmy. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's a solid quarterback. I was a one-man Wolfpack 7 months ago telling people, nah, Jimmy's cool. Like, you can win with him. And everybody was telling me how sorry Jimmy was. Yep. Everybody. He's sorry. You can't win him. Now, all of a sudden, 7, 8, 9 months later, you have to have him in the game if you're trying to make a Super Bowl. I'm sorry I was there. I remember all the things y'all were saying.
Right.
Don't come to me now telling me that you have to have Jimmy Garoppolo over this young kid who didn't even play bad. Yeah. I'm not even going to say that bad. He didn't play bad at all. He had a average game in the rain. Like, it happened. It wasn't good or bad. It's not the reason why they won or lost. So that's the thing that has perplexed me this whole time. All these guys on the Talking Heads radio shows and the TV shows, y'all was all telling me how sorry Jimmy was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you got to have him in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we're talking with Kenny Caraway. He does 49er. You doing the pre and post game again this year on 1320?
Just free. You know what I mean? Danny Fry's not around to work us into the ground.
That's off the air. That's off the air. But,
done that, KC.
The way that Bonte is the king of San Francisco right now, media. Kenny is that guy in Sacramento. So Kenny,
stop it.
I'm really interested in this Shanahan conversation. I told Bonte, I know all the pressure is going to be pointed at Trey Lance, but to me, this is all about Kyle. Kyle hand-selected this guy. I don't believe that he gets forced to do anything anything when it comes to his team. I believe that him and Lynch work together, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to him. It's hard for me to defend all of the fourth quarter stumbles that he's had. Now, great coaches throughout the history of time, they've got bad losses on their resume. Show me a great coach, and I'll show you a bunch of bad losses, and I'll show you a ton of wins. But at some point, I have to acknowledge this guy does blow a lot of leads. What do you make of a lot of the blown leads with Kyle Shanahan?
Man, Kyle Shanahan, that's my guy, man. Yeah, I call him affectionately Young Shanny. That's my guy. But I got to call a spade a spade. I got to keep the same energy I would for somebody else. I think he's a really good coach. You know, I fall short of calling him a coaching genius because you got to actually get some hardware.
Yeah, no doubt.
When we say that, but I mean, he's a really good football mind. He knows the game. He understands what's going on. With that being said, I tell Damian all the time, one of his Achilles heels, and everybody has them. That's the thing about it. There is no perfect coach. All these coaches have some type of weakness where if you get them in a certain situation, that's not their strong point or whatever the case may be. And one of the things, or there's like two things that I would say with Kyle Shanahan. Well, number one, when something goes off script, i.e. an injury to a player that you were game planning for, he looks like a deer in headlights. He does not know how to adjust. Elijah Mitchell goes down. All of a sudden he gets caught with his pants down. He's only got Jeff Wilson as a running back. He starts running the ball different. To me, just from the outside looking in, I'm not baldy, but it just seems like he gets a little shook when things go off kilter a little bit, and it takes him a little too long to adjust. The other thing, when the game gets tight, when he has to hold on to a lead, not necessarily come back. This is the weird part about it. Like when he's down, we've seen him orchestrate play calls and sequences in games where he's able to get guys to come back from being down. He's not tripping off being behind. But when it's time to hold on to a lead a little bit, and you guys let me know what you think, I think he gets too conservative. I know he gets raked over the coals for what happened in the Super Bowl with Atlanta and New England when he wasn't even the head coach.
Right.
All people always want to put that on him.
Yeah.
But he gets raked over the coals for that all the time. I didn't really have a huge problem with it. I think he gets too conservative since I've seen him here with the 49ers when things get a little sketchy or whatever the case may be. I like to see him be more aggressive. For instance, on Sunday when after the Dante Pettis touchdown that clearly changed everything.
Changed the entire game.
Changed completely. I would like to see somebody like Shanahan say, okay, let me go snatch that momentum back.
Right.
Let me get a big play here. Let me set up a play action here to snatch that momentum back, and that doesn't seem to be his bag. So I like Shanahan, man. I know a lot of these people, have been talking about, is he under fire? Is he possibly, coaching for his job right now? Come on, man. Say what you want. The man just went to the NFC Championship game.
Right.
He just got you to 2 NFC Championship games in the last 3 years.
Yep.
I love Shanahan. I'm not thinking at all of him not being here in San Francisco. But he does have some Achilles heels.
No doubt.
I like to see him work on those things.
No doubt. Kenny Caraway, ESPN 1320 here on the roast. And you're right. I saw him blow a lead in Dallas in the wild card game. They hung on for dear life to win that football game.
Yeah.
They blew a 10-point lead against the Rams in the NFC Championship last season. They blew a 10-point lead in the Super Bowl to the Kansas City Chiefs. He has blown some leads. We've seen it in the regular season as well. But let me ask you this before we get you out of here. It's Seahawks week. They've won 4 straight against the Niners. They're 28-13 against the Niners since they moved back into the NFC West, and that includes a 10-game winning streak. Shasky said they won 13-16 against the Niners.
Yeah.
Where does Seattle rank on that hierarchy of rivalries? Is it the Rams? Is it the Cardinals? Or is it the Hawks and Pete Carroll chewing that gum on the sideline? Because it's a big week for the 49ers. For the divisional game, home opener against the 12s, this is a gotta-have-it game. So where do the Hawks rank for you as a rival?
I thought we were moving past the Seahawk thing a little bit in the off season when you heard Russell wasn't going to be there, and they were supposedly supposed to be going down, and then we had this thing with the Rams and Aaron Donald, and the vitriol between the Rams and the 49ers has not been hidden on either side. They both said, I don't like it. And Aaron Donald I don't like the Niners. Debo and Jimmy Ward, I don't like the Rams. The vitriol was there. It was like, the Rams is back. San Francisco, LA is back. And you thought the Seahawks would be on the back burner a little bit. But then I'm watching Monday Night Football. And I see all them damn 12s. And I see that stupid neon green uniforms that they have. And then all of a sudden, they want to be loud. And then I see Pete Carroll and all this other stuff. And then they win the game. And they, they run in their mouth. And people are like, oh, yeah, I think, people been sleeping on us. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. It's all back. It's all back this week. It is Seahawk week.
Let's go.
I want all the smoke. And I want to backhand Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks so bad in this home opener. It's back. They're up there. I'm going to tell you, the Rams have gone up there. I feel like it is neck and neck between the Rams and the Seahawks for the hate list right here because I can't stand the Rams. I can't stand them. But the Seahawks, I thought they were gone, but it just took one game to bring all the emotions back. No doubt. And they right up there again. I want to smack. I was doing some research. Joe says 13-16. I don't know. I made my math as well. I thought they lost 15 or 17 to these guys. They've been getting smacked around with Russell Wilson under center. It's just nasty.
Yeah. It's been very, very, very bad. There's no doubt about it.
He might be right. He might be right. The 2-17. He might be right there. There's a lot of L's here since 2014.
All I know is this. They're cockroaches.
Yeah.
In the words of my man, Tony Montana.
Kitty Caraway, ESPN 1320. He'll be on at high noon with Damian Barling. It's a must-listen show. I love the show. It's one of my favorite shows out there. I try to tap in every single day. They're funny. They're hilarious. I got the big bottles, the Rick Ross bottles, Chasky, in the background. They're doing the big. And you see the new studio they got up there at Rockland? Where is it? Rockland? Oh, my Lord.
We out in Roseville. Roseville. 90 trillion miles from my house. It's okay. It's nice.
Katie, take care, my man. Thanks for popping on today.
Monte, happy birthday again, big dog. Much love, man.
I appreciate you, man. Can't wait to see you down here in the Bay Area. Don't forget to come out.